Hey everybody, Zach Nordike back with you for a new episode of Zero to a Million. This is actually the second part to our strategy and scaling conversation. So again, for those of you who've not seen the channel or the content before, I have had the really distinct privilege of running Evergreen Learning Center. We've taken this journey of building the business from zero to $1 million in annual revenue. And I like to talk about my personal learnings, my life experience in doing this. It's provided me with a lot of unique insights. So we're going to jump into part two of our strategy and scaling conversation today. I hope you find it helpful. My entrepreneur tip, just like it was on part one of this series, is to read Vern Harnish's Scaling Up. Vern really is, I think, outstanding at writing content for entrepreneurs that are looking to build a $1 million and beyond business. Just the systems, processes that he describes and the specific detail that he goes into around people, cash, execution, and strategy are really, really impactful. I've had the honor of being in Entrepreneur Organization's Accelerator program. We use scaling up in those four kind of core concepts to help us as business operators just basically learn how to build the best business possible, the most sustainable business possible. So lots of credit to Vern. Definitely suggest reading Scaling Up. I am not by any means saying that this is a comprehensive understanding of the strategy section in the book. Most certainly review that for yourself, but I definitely want to touch on a few more concepts that are covered in the strategy section of Scaling Up that have stood out to me and that we've been able to implement in different ways in our organization. So let's hop into it. Another key part of strategy is having a one-phrase strategic advantage, right? What encapsulates your key advantage over all those that are in your industry or your specific niche that sets you apart, right? Maybe it's a guarantee. Maybe it's that you're delivering at kind of a more premium level. I'm not sure what it is. I can share our one phrase strategic advantage. And again, it's not a one word, it's a one phrase strategic advantage. So we provide premium life services at no cost, right? Premium life services at no cost. What does that mean? We basically provide coaching and mental health support to individuals at no cost. And you might think, wow, how in the world would you provide premium service at no cost? We have kind of a unique situation where we're able to work with clients who have Medicaid coverage, and Medicaid is the kind of payer for the services that we provide. So it allows us to be unique that way. The thing that I think enhances our offering is we pride ourselves on being very fast, responsive, and personalized when we're interacting with our clients, right? When you typically get services that are at no cost, and this is regrettable in some ways, they tend to be slower, less personalized, just more of, hey, you're not paying anything for this, so here you go. For us, it was important to make sure that we're offering premium life services at no cost. We want everyone to be appreciated, treated in a very individual way, and get service just like you were paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for it. Like that is such a really key part of our experience. I can share that there are strategic advantages or like a one phrase strategic advantage. I'll just cite like maybe the Domino's pizza example. I believe that's in the book, delivered in 30 minutes less or it's free. Again, that is not going to be applicable to some industries, some businesses, et cetera. But your advantage could be, again, you do things in a certain timeline or it's free. You do certain things to a certain quality standard or it's free. You are delivering certain things just in a way that differentiates you, that quickly is understood. Again, you can think through all the places you go to And you can think about, why am I going here? What separates this place from the next place, right? Maybe if you're in the mood for something fast, that Domino's guarantee is really appealing to you. You know, you're not really worried about anything except this. You're hungry and you need something quick, right? So 30 minutes less or it's free lets you know, oh, okay, well, when I'm really hungry and I just need something quick, they're going to deliver because they're going to need to give this to me free if they don't, right? But let's say we're thinking about something that's critical to our health or something. Maybe we want an organization that's, their strategic advantage is putting the patient first. You know, most advanced treatments available. I'm not sure what that advantage might be, but we always don't want the fastest and cheapest, especially if it's something more vital or integral to our health. So maybe we want to look for other strategic advantages. But as you're examining this for your organization, in roughly one sentence, how can you tell people what separates you from the competitors out there? And it takes a lot of, I think, thinking about what you do. Don't try to, don't try to find exactly what you're doing different, but try to write out, like if somebody asks you what you do, right? Try to think about that first. Like, how do you in one sentence tell, I run a business that does X, Y, Z, right? Start there. Just that some people refer to it as an elevator pitch. Yeah, I run a business that serves blah. I run a business and we make X, Y, Z. Whatever it is, start with what you do in one sentence, and then start thinking about, if somebody said, okay, how is that different than, maybe they bring up a competitor. Let's say you, I don't know, have a pharmaceuticals company. Oh, how is that different than this medication, right? Maybe you have to explain, well, ours is a time release formula that works in half the time is that one. That's what makes us different and unique. And their side effects are X, ours are Y. We have fewer side effects and it works more timely. My suggestion when you're thinking through your one phrase strategic advantage is to, again, think about what your business is, and then think about, if somebody asks you, and how is that different than, that's where you're coming up with that. That's helped me think through how we present our organization and our one phrase strategic advantage. I'll just share before we move on. If you don't have the ability to share what you do differently in a very short way, you're going to have a hard time, in my experience, conveying to people who want to work with you why they should do it, right? And you're going to have a hard time convincing, if you're selling, convincing a customer why they should go with you versus the next person. As an entrepreneur, as a business operator, as whatever you want to term it, a person that's making a business run, you've got to be able to sell your organization, sell it to both people who are going to purchase whatever you're offering, as well as people you want to work with. And if you take a long time to share why this is the best thing for them, they're just bombarded with stuff. You've got to be able to quickly and efficiently say, we're different because of X, Y, Z. You should join this. You should use this. You should buy this. You should help grow this, right? The one phrase strategic advantage, in my opinion, is such a good way to help you sell more efficiently, both customers and individuals you want to work with you to help build that business. So be very mindful of its value. Brevity definitely is value. Okay, values, right? So we talked about the one phrase strategic advantage, values. This is what makes your company unique, okay? Your values could be reliability, adaptability, leadership. Those are some of ours. Your values could be everyone's an entrepreneur. I think that's part of the Vern has a company, that's one of his values of his company. Maybe it's the customer's always right. I'm not sure. The values are something that you and the individuals that are working with your company do every day. They do it. You do it for one another. You do it for the customers, clients, the stakeholders that you're serving. What do you do? How does your business do business? Is it that, I don't know, courtesy first, leadership, leadership and loyalty? What do you do that stands out, that really makes your business what it is? Like when somebody walks in from the outside, they're going to observe, wow, people are really open-minded and they're allowed to speak freely and they can argue. Are they going to observe, wow, people are really quiet and it looks intense? Maybe you value secrecy. Maybe you value just kind of putting your head down and working and not giving feedback. I'm not sure, but you have to be very observant of how your business operates, and not just your personal values as the business operator, but the collective values of the group. What really is going on, and maybe what do you aspire to have going on? Let's say you want to have it as a, speak your mind with respect type of culture, right? One of your values could be speak your mind, but another one of your values could be, stay respectful, right? I think in a business, most of us, to get things done, we have to be pretty honest, or we try to be. But I think the key thing that we have to think about is our value something we're living or we're aspiring to live, right? And as you're building it, you have to be able to adapt those values as your business changes. But what you want to come up with is truths about how your business is operating currently. I would suggest 3 to 6 values. Don't get way over that. I know some companies have maybe 15 different things that they think are values. But I think one thing that points to it's a value is if you have a story around it. And again, this is from scaling up. If I'm talking about our reliability value in our organization, I'm going to say reliability is when you're 5 minutes early for the meeting, when you're well prepared for what you need to do, and it's clear to all the other stakeholders in the room, you have thought about this well before you showed up. You're reliable when you're given a task and there's no doubt in anybody's mind that it's going to be done on time. It's going to be done to the caliber you specified that it's going to be done. Reliability, and you can point to a story. Hey, reliability was exemplified when that team leader, they were 10 minutes early for the meeting. They were so well prepared. They said that they were going to take on this task. They did it. It helped us elevate that team to this level of hours. And that resulted in the team getting an extra bonus. That is reliability. Like when you can point to a story of when somebody in your company lived that value and got a result with it, that's huge. Or if you value adaptability. Hey, our company showed such great adaptability when we had to switch from this software to that software. We thought it was going to be so disruptive. But because of everyone's flexibility and desire to continue to provide service to our clients without interruption, you rapidly learned what we needed to do with this new software, and it was deployed within a week, where most people projected it would take 2 months. You were determined to do the best job for yourselves and the customer, and it happened in a week or 2 weeks, whatever. Your values are something that you're living, that you can probably tell a story about that exemplify what you want for your organization, or what your organization's doing and what you want for your organization. Again, with the values, you have to be able to say, hey, I'm frustrated, right? Like when somebody's not living the value. Let's say leadership's your value, and the way you define leadership is setting people up for success. Maybe someone on the team does something and it's kind of good for them, right? But they forgot to train. Maybe they're well versed on it, but maybe their team is poorly versed on a new initiative or talking about a new process, right? You can say, I'm pretty frustrated with you. I appreciate your preparation for this, but you failed to really exhibit the type of leadership we need because we set others up for success. While you seem highly prepared, I'm not confident that your team is performing at the level they need or have the full understanding. when we've asked them questions about this, they seem to really lack understanding. I'm disappointed that that value hasn't been met. Do you think that we can make some improvements? The values are both something to hold that you're presently living, right? There's something to aspire toward, but they're also something that you can share when there is maybe a lack of reaching those values as a learning lesson, not as a punishment, but as a learning lesson. Hey, our value of reliability means that you're not just on time, but you're early and you're prepared in this way. And again, you as the leader, you have to say, wow, I didn't, maybe some days you're lacking. Everyone, I'm sorry, I was a minute behind for this and I came in rushed and I was ill prepared, right? I did not lead with our reliability values. Values are something that you should really be honest if people are living them or not. And if no one's living them, that's when maybe you should fire yourself. But that's a little extreme. I think at that point you should really reconsider if it's a value or not that you can really uphold. But they are to direct your team on how you're going to do business. They're going to direct your team on what you aspire to be as a business. And they're also going to be kind of cornerstones of lessons when individuals may not live up to those values, where, again, not in a punishing way, not in an intense way, but you can just share, this is our value. This is what I believe is happening here. I don't think we have alignment, and here's why we don't have alignment. You can have really, I think, impactful conversation about what the standards are that your business has. So that's why values count so much, and that's been my personal experience with them. Brand promise. Values are something that you want for your inside team, right? Yourself and those that are working inside the business with you. A brand promise, very similar to our one phrase strategic advantage. What are you promising to the customer? I think in our part one, we talked about anti-brand promises. Who are you not going to serve? Well, our brand promise is pretty much the opposite of that. When you determine who you are going to serve, how are you going to serve them? Are you going to treat them like family? That's one of our values one of our promises to the client. We're also going to foster supportive relationships, right? We want to make that person feel like they're really cared about. And we're also going to help them make breakthroughs, right? And sometimes that takes pushing somebody to the point where they're a bit uncomfortable because it's a new level of understanding, a new level of education for them potentially. So that's what we're promising to our clients or those that we serve. For your customer, do you promise them, a courteous, friendly service every time? Do you promise them, a certain time period in which they can expect the service? Do you promise them the highest commitment to quality ingredients, right? I'm not sure what you're promising, but it's something that you have to be able to measure and deliver against, that when folks that are working with you, that are paying for your service, that are joining into your community, not as team members, but as outside people that are really putting the money in your bank account, you best be able to tell them, this is what your experience is going to look like. And they've got to feel that that is happening. They have to see that, like, wow, when I come here, I'll just act like it's a restaurant. The food's going to be good, the service is amazing, and the prices are reasonable. I'm not sure if that's anybody's brand promise. Not sure why I picked out a food example, but it just really stands out to me. Maybe it's a manufacturing. We're going to make sure that, the quality assurance is right and nothing is defective that we present to you, and that everything ships on time. Whatever it is, it has to be something that you can consistently do, measure against, quantitatively know that you're doing it, survey your clients, qualitatively hear that they're feeling it, and you just know that that is how we're doing business. So one phrase, strategic advantage. Okay, going back. That is how, when somebody approaches you in the community and they say, what do? You can tell them what your business does. And then they say, okay, well, how is that different than blah, blah, blah? You have an immediate, not long-winded answer, but a very acute, specific answer. Oh, we're different because, or our advantage is whatever it is. Be able to fill in the blank with just one sentence. Yes, we are bigger, cheaper, and more accessible than X, Y, and Z, right? That's sharing why you're different. And I think people who work with you need to know, what is it that's our advantage? How are we different than the next person? Why do I need to be a part of this mission? Your customers need to know, why is this better than this? Why is this giving me a reason to be loyal to you? Okay, so that's super important. Your values then are your internal drivers. It's what your company lives to be. It's what it's living. It's what it aspires to live. And it's also kind of teaching points that when you veer off course, you can share why that doesn't align with who you are as a company. And then your brand promise is what you promise to be for your customers. All these things kind of put the flag in the sand, so to speak, and say, this is who we are. Hold us accountable against this. Are we really living up to that strategic advantage? Are we living our values? Is this brand promise real? This allows you to be differentiated in very crowded markets. It also allows you to own very specific ways of being recognized by both folks that are going to work with you as well as people that are going to buy from you. So very, very important parts of strategy are these three concepts today. I hope you found this to be helpful. Can't wait to talk with you on our next part of 0 to a Million. Until then, be well.